Catherine Norrie, and I have been teaching at Northfield High School for 14 years. All my life I had been interested in art. I loved to paint, I loved to draw, but it just never was nurtured in any kind of educational setting. But then I got to St. Olaf and I tried those classes in the majors and the fields that I thought I was really going to be interested in, and I just wasn't inspired. I just didn't feel like it was something that I could be passionate about for 4 years, and just didn't see myself in those positions and in those roles. So my parents' advice was to take all the classes that I could think of, just try a little bit of everything. And one of the classes that I took was Mary Gripp's art, perceptual drawing class, and I fell in love with it. And I could stay in the studio until 1:30 in the morning, never looking at the clock. And I remember one day I just called my mom and dad and I said, I'm going to be an art major. And to their credit, they said, congratulations, that's great. We're so happy for you and we think that's wonderful. So then it started. I just felt like I really belonged in the art department. I felt supported and inspired, and all the professors were so encouraging. So that just felt really good to kind of find my place. I came from a long line of teachers. So my grandfather was a superintendent, my mom was a teacher. What do? I decide I don't want to be a teacher, thinking I shouldn't just do what everybody else does. But I had roommates who were thinking about taking ed psych just to be able to have the option, to be able to say, if I want to be an ed major, I can try that, and it was just like a foot in the door. So I took educational psychology with Mark Shelsky, and not only fell in love with the class, but more importantly, Mark Shelsky, who in the end ended up being a really strong mentor for me. It was really that coming together of finding my home in the art department and finding out that education really does open a lot of doors and has a lot of potential, and finding Mark Shelsky and the people in that department to be successful. So that's how I ended up with art and education. Part of St. Olaf is great because it led me right into student teaching. So to complete the licensure, I had to student teach, and I was placed in Lakeville with Pam Torrey, who was in a department of 3 teachers. So not only was I student teaching with Pam Torrey, but I really was student teaching with Lori Johnson and Christy Meisner. So there were 3 women who all took me under their wings and all showed me different ways to be a good teacher and different ways to interact with students. And I feel like I got a very comprehensive look at what a successful, large art department in Lakeville could look like. And then I also had an experience at an elementary school. It was a great experience, but it was one that really solidified that I wanted to be at the high school level.
There's great advantages. It's always different. It's always new. I have the complete ability to change what I do all the time. I may have to teach line or contour or composition or color mixing or color theory, but the way I teach it is completely up to me. Creative independence as a teacher is pretty amazing. It's wonderful to be able to use your own imagination to come up with things that students might really love. A lot of times I think that teaching art is the very easiest part of my job, and that all that peripheral stuff is what's hard. As a professional, to have the support of your colleagues and your administrators and your community, it really helps build your program. And whenever there's any kind of budget cuts in this community and they say maybe orchestra or maybe visual arts, there are huge supporters who come out and say no. And through the last 2 budget cut sessions that I've actually sat in on, people have done everything they can to protect the arts. The Purpose Center in Golden Valley also has a great support system for teachers, and they have a long series of opportunities throughout the summer months to learn new things, to be introduced to working artists, and to interact with other art educators who can help you with new ideas. The entire high school and middle school art departments from Northfield, we went up for a 2-day session on how to integrate iPads into the art curriculum, which was perfect because we had iPads integrated this year. So many of the things that we're doing are a direct result of going up there for that continued education. So summers, pretty amazing for self-development artistically and for classes, taking classes.
Catherine Norrie gave insight on one way to become an arts professional. There is a lot to learn from talking with an arts educator. You are not only able to inspire future generations, but open up the community to seeing the value of the arts. There are many support systems set up for helping the teacher grow as an artist in their field. Teachers are able to become successful as artists and are able to make a difference in the world. We will always need teachers who are passionate and creative. Arts education can open many doors for teachers and students alike.